All I want is a room somewhere. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, everyone. I am Juan from Just One Reader. I have just come from the movie theater. I just watched the Fantastic Beasts movie, the new one, The Secrets of Dumbledore, and that movie was so awful, just like the rest of them. What a bad franchise. I mean, I thought it was so blasphemous and infuriating. The whole franchise of Fantastic Beasts, which is not really about Fantastic Beasts at all anymore, it's just so badly done. It put me in this mood of, let's just talk shit. Let's just talk about some unpopular opinions. Please don't be offended. I don't think disclaimers are needed in these kinds of videos, but let's just put it out there because people can get mad when you talk badly about things that they love, and I've been there myself, so I can empathize with that. But just keep in mind, these are my very unpopular opinions, and don't be offended. I think we live in a world where people are embracing positivity so much that sometimes we just forget how important negativity is in life. We just need the light and the shadow. We need the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, the positive and the negative. So without any further ado, these are my unpopular opinions. I'm gonna link the original book tag below. Let's just get started right away with question number one. What is a popular book or book series that you just did not like? Brandon Sanderson. Everything that he has written that I've read is just shit. He does not understand. He doesn't really comprehend fantasy. I think he is destroying the good name of fantasy to me, and this is very personal, of course. That's an opinion. It's personal. It's subjective. I think fantasy should feel magical. It should feel mysterious in some way. I know that he creates these elaborate magic systems, and he is very methodical, mechanical, and very geeky in the way that he constructs all of these laws and structures and pieces to the puzzle, but it's just so devoid of real magic. Like, there's no sense of wonder. To me, the books that I have read by him, which are The Way of Kings, and Mistborn, The Final Empire, they are so relentlessly boring and plasticky. Don't like his writing style either. I don't understand people loving him so much. I think people just have very low standards nowadays. They don't think very critically. That's just my opinion. Anyway, moving on. I don't want to get into more trouble trashing Brandon Sanderson's writing, but I will say he seems like a very nice guy, and he's a great teacher. Another book series that I think is incredibly overrated is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Those books I actually enjoyed, but they are decent, passable, enjoyable, but they're fine. They are fine. That's it. That's all I can say. I think they are incredibly overrated. And finally, another book that I have gotten into a lot of trouble as well for criticizing or not loving was Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow by Jessica Townsend, just because to me, it was super clear, very evident that it was a Harry Potter knockoff. It was clearly like a copy-paste in certain places of Harry Potter. However, I have heard so many great things about the Nevermore series that I might actually consider trying it a second time, and hopefully it will improve. Question number two is the opposite. A popular book or book series, or rather unpopular book or book series that everyone else seems to hate, but I love. Let's start with J.K. Rowling. I love everything that she has published for different reasons in different ways, but I love The Casual Vacancy. I think it's very underrated. I love the Robert Galbraith series, even though they have their flaws. I love those books. I love what J.K. Rowling has published post Harry Potter, not taking into consideration the Fantastic Beasts franchise, which is awful. Another, not a book, but a part of a book that people hate, and I think is really, really good, is the ending of Stephen King's It, where, spoiler alert for It, the book, the children have an orgy. It's a very creepy, disgusting, weirdo, a bizarro scene. People are always very, very, they really emphasize that they don't like that scene, even though they love the book. They don't like that scene. And to me, that scene, as creepy as it is, sort of makes the book come together. That sounds awful. It sounds like I am condoning this children orgy, but it's not about that. It's not about the morality aspect of it. It's just, it makes sense within the context of the book for me. Very unpopular opinion. And another book that I think is incredibly underrated is The Little Friend by Donna Tartt. I love Donna Tartt's books. She has only published 3 novels. The Goldfinch is very, very well received. The Secret History, incredibly well received. But The Little Friend, the book that she wrote in between the other 2, people don't like it. People think it's boring. I think people don't understand how great it is. I think people just don't have enough criteria to appreciate that wonderful book. Question number 3 is a love triangle where the main character ended up with a character that you didn't want them to end up with. I don't have an answer for this because I don't really care about love triangles. Moving on. Question number 4, a popular book genre that you hardly ever reach for. To me, that would be poetry. I don't like poetry. I stay away from poetry. But also video gamey fantasy, you know, the Brandon Sanderson kind of fantasy that feels very plasticky. Just looking at the covers, you can see that the book is going to be cheap and video gamey. I don't like video games. I don't play video games. I never played video games. I don't connect with that aesthetic and with that kind of thing. And also science fiction. I don't read science fiction, but it is a genre that I want to read. I would love to, because I have read books with sci-fi elements, and I think I like them. I just don't read sci-fi enough, so I will try to amend that. Question number 5 is a popular or beloved character that you don't like. Any character by Brandon Sanderson. I know I am talking shit about Brandon Sanderson in this video. I am sorry if you like Brandon Sanderson. I'm sorry. You're probably hating me right now, and I totally understand you. It's horrible when people trash things that you like. But really, his characters are just laughably bad. I mean, come on. Just from those 2 books that I read by him, the characters in Mistborn are laughably bad. I mean, that's just objective. And the characters in Stormlight are just bland. And again, I only read 1 book, but come on, it's like 1,000 pages long, and I didn't care at all about any of the characters. Now, I'm gonna flip the question. I'm gonna do the opposite. So characters that people don't love, but I really do love. I'm gonna go with Harry Potter. People don't like Harry as a character in the Harry Potter series. I think Harry is great. I love Harry. He might not be my favorite character though, and so people have a point there, I guess, but I love Harry. I love the way that we feel so close to him. Like, he's a true protagonist, and he's really well constructed. And I think of Harry and I immediately want to cry. Like, I feel very deeply about him, even though he's not my favorite character. Now, another character in the Harry Potter series that people don't love is Ron Weasley. I think Ron is, in a way, and this is a very unpopular opinion, I think he's the heart of the Harry Potter books. I think Ron is unbelievably good. I love his character. Anyway, question number 6. A popular author that you cannot seem to get into. And for me, that is very clearly and very sadly Terry Pratchett. I have tried, and I have tried, and I have failed. I cannot get along with Terry Pratchett's writing. For some reason, I feel like it's like a personal defeat or something. I feel like I should love Terry Pratchett. I love comedic writing. I love funny British humor. I hate Terry Pratchett's writing. I've only tried, I think, 3 of his books, and I think he's a horrible writer. I think he's a horrible storyteller. I don't care about him. I'm completely over with Terry Pratchett. It sort of infuriates me that I haven't been able to click with him, but because I feel like I should, but he's not for me. I hate Terry Pratchett. Question number 7 is a popular book trope that you are tired of seeing. And I don't really care about tropes. I think I enjoy tropes as long as they are done correctly or interestingly. But I will tell you something. I will tell you I am really tired of books that are very clearly trying to be the next something, the next Harry Potter, the next Lord of the Rings, the next A Game of Thrones, the next whatever. Like I said, Nevermore to me felt like the next Harry Potter. I don't want things like following somebody else's steps. I want originality. I want something to surprise me. Question number 8. A popular series that you have no interest in reading at all. Malazan Book of the Fallen by Steven Erikson. That kind of fantasy, even though I have no idea what it's about, just looking at those covers and the way that people talk about the series makes me just like, no. I don't want anything to do with Malazan Book of the Fallen. It just looks wrong for me. I might be wrong, but it just looks wrong. Also, anything written by John Gwynne, it looks awful. It just looks bad. Jade City, the Jade Saga trilogy, whatever, by Fonda Lee, it just looks cheap. It looks bad. Also, the Daniel Green novellas. Daniel Green is a very important booktuber. He is like the #1 fantasy booktuber. I love his channel. I've been following him religiously for years. I really enjoy him as a booktuber, as a content creator. But people say that his novellas are awful, and they certainly look like they're not for me at all. And finally, question number 9. The saying goes, the book is always better than the movie. But really, what is a movie or a TV show adaptation that you prefer more than the book? Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. The tiny school book where Newt Scamander tells you about all of these creatures. That short snippet of writing is better than the 3 awful movies that they have created so far in the Fantastic Beasts franchise, which is just awfully bad. Anyway, that's the Unpopular Opinions book tag. I hope you're not completely mad at me, but I will totally understand if you are. Thanks for watching. I am just one reader, and please embrace negativity in your life, at least a smidge. And go ahead and do this book tag if you haven't answered it yourself. Thanks for watching.